The sprawling, mid-century modern home nestled on 3 wooded acres at the edge of Serenity Ridge Estates wasn't just a house, it was my sanctuary. After 30 years on the federal bench, 20 of them presiding over the notoriously complex and dangerous Eastern District Organized Crime Task Force, I craved solitude. No more round-the-clock security details, no more anonymous threats scribbled on prison napkins, just the rustle of oak trees and the distant call of hawks. I bought Havenwood precisely because it stood outside the Serenity Ridge HOA boundaries, a fact confirmed by multiple surveys and my meticulous real estate attorney. My only connection, a shared private access road maintained by the HOA, for which I paid a fair annual fee. The first letter arrived 2 days after I moved in. Crisp, legalistic, embossed with the HOA's laurel leaf logo. Greater than asterisk, dear resident. Greater than R. Records indicate your property parcel 7B is now occupied. Per Serenity Ridge Covenants, Conditions and Restrictions CC in Section 3.1. ALL parcels utilizing Ridge Access Road must hold full HOA membership, including dues $1, $200 per month, and adherence to all architectural, landscaping, and conduct guidelines. Please remit dues and sign membership agreement within 10 days. Asterisk, I sighed. My lawyer had warned me about Arthur Vance. The HOA president was a retired corporate bulldog who ruled Serenity Ridge like a personal fiefdom. Rumor had it he'd bankrupted a neighbor over unpainted fence pickets. I drafted a polite, but firm, response, attaching the property plat map highlighting the bright red line excluding Havenwood, greater than asterisk Mr. Vance. Per a Tass County survey, Parcel 7B is explicitly excluded from HOA jurisdiction. My obligation is limited to road maintenance fees, which I pay promptly. I decline membership. Respectfully, Judge Silas Thorne. Asterisk, I didn't use my title to intimidate. I used it for clarity. Big mistake. Vance's escalation was swift and venomous. Letters became daily threats, liens, lawsuits, mandatory compliance, hearings. He even sent his architectural committee to photograph my violations, native wildflowers I planted instead of home-mandated Kentucky bluegrass, and the vintage 1960s brass mailbox I restored, non-conforming eyesores. They called them. Then came the harassment. Asterisk, week 1. Asterisk, my gate lock was glued shut. Asterisk, week 2. Asterisk, anonymous notes. Asterisk, join or leave. Asterisk, week 3. Asterisk, Vance himself confronted me at my door, flanked by the board members. His face was puce with rage. Thorne, your arrogance ends now. He spat. That access road clause gives us jurisdiction. Tear out those weeds. Paint that monstrosity of a mailbox beige. And pay your dues plus late fees or face asterisk extreme consequences asterisk. I stood framed in my doorway. The calm I'd honed over decades of sentencing violent criminals settling over me. Mr. Vance, this is trespassing. The law is clear. My property is excluded. Any further harassment will result in a restraining order. Leave. Now, the cold fury in my voice made his lackeys shuffle backward. Vance just sneered. You'll regret this. Asterisk, Judge asterisk. He spat the title like an insult. The final warning came on a crisp Tuesday evening. A single sheet of paper slipped under my door. Greater than asterisk, last chance. Joined by midnight or Havenwood Burns. You've been judged. Asterisk, I called the sheriff. Deputy Miller took notes, but shrugged. HOA disputes. Judge Thorne. Nasty business, but hard to prove who sent this. We'll patrol extra tonight. I believed in the law, not vigilante threats. I went to bed at 2:17 a.m. Duke, my aging Doberman, erupted in frantic barks. The smell hit me first thick, chemical, suffocating. Asterisk, gasoline. Asterisk, I lunged for the phone, but the explosion blew me off my feet before I could dial. K.A. Wump. Asterisk, windows shattered. Flames roared to life, devouring the living room curtains, racing across the gasoline-soaked hardwood. Heat seared my skin as I crawled toward the bedroom patio door. Duke climbed beside me. We tumbled into the cool night grass just as the roof groaned. I watched, coughing smoke, as 30 years of my life photos of my late wife, my law library, the quiet peace I'd earned were consumed by an inferno fueled by petty tyranny. In the flickering shadows of the woods, I saw them, 3 figures melting into the darkness. One moved with Arthur Vance's distinct, stiff-back stride. The sheriff arrived as Havenwood's beams collapsed in a shower of sparks. Deputy Miller's face was pale. Judge Thorne, my God, are you? I cut him off. My voice rasping but terrifyingly calm. Deputy, secure this scene. Call the state fire marshal and the FBI. Miller blinked. FBI for a fire. I fixed him with the stare that had made mob bosses break into cold sweats. This is arson, conspiracy, attempted murder of a federal judge, and I know exactly who did it. The next 72 hours were a whirlwind of federal efficiency. My status as a sitting judge, especially one who put away major crime families, unlocked resources mere civilians couldn't dream of. By dawn, the FBI evidence response team was sifting through Havenwood's smoldering ruins. By noon, a federal arrest warrant was drafted. By dusk, Arthur Vance sat sweating in a sterile interrogation room. Flanked by his terrified lawyer, I observed from behind one-way glass, bandaged, but radiating icy authority. Vance's smugness had evaporated, replaced by dawning horror. Special Agent Reed slid a photo across the table, a muddy footprint from my patio, matching Vance's rare Italian loafers. We found traces of accelerant on these shoes, Mr. Vance, purchased yesterday on your credit card. Another photo, cell tower records placing Vance and the HOA board members retired plumber Hank Driscoll and landscaper Ben Carter near my property at 2:15 a.m. Vance sputtered, "This is outrageous. We were checking for illegal dumping. Agent Reed leaned in. We also have a sworn statement from your accomplice, Mr. Carter. He flipped, told us everything. How you planned it. How you poured the gas. How you lit the match to teach the arrogant judge a lesson." Vance's face crumpled. "He's lying." "I didn't. Save it," Reed snapped. "You targeted a federal judge. You burned down his home. You almost killed him. That's domestic terrorism. You're looking at life without parole." The color drained from Vance's face. Federal judge asterisk? He was just some retired guy. He said he was a judge, but not federal asterisk. His voice rose to a hysterical shriek. "He tricked us." I stepped into the room. Vance recoiled as if struck. "Tricked you?" My voice was soft, lethal. I stated my name and title clearly, Mr. Vance. You chose to see only what you wanted, a vulnerable target for your extortion. You believed your HOA bylaws trumped federal law. You believed you were untouchable. I placed a copy of the original exclusionary property map on the table. Your extreme consequences have arrived. You're charged under 18 U.S. Code Section 840 for arson affecting interstate commerce. My home was purchased with funds earned while presiding over cases spanning state lines. You're also charged with conspiracy and attempted murder of a federal officer. Your accomplices have already implicated you. Vance's lawyer slumped. Your Honor, is there any leniency? I met Vance's terrified eyes. You didn't show leniency when you set fire to my home while I slept. You didn't show leniency to others you bullied with your fake authority. The law isn't about your convenience, Mr. Vance. It's about justice. The trial was swift and merciless. Vance, Driscoll, and Carter were convicted on all counts. Evidence was overwhelming. Forensic matches, cell data, Carter's testimony, and Vance's own damning emails demanding they make Thorne suffer. At sentencing, the courtroom was packed HOA members who'd been victims, reporters, and curious citizens. Vance stood trembling in an orange jumpsuit, all arrogance gone. Arthur Vance, I intoned from the bench, my black robe a symbol of the power he'd foolishly challenged. You perverted the concept of community into a tool of intimidation and greed. You believed your petty rules placed you above the law. You committed arson to enforce your will, demonstrating a profound danger to society. I paused, letting the silence weigh heavy. This court sentences you to 25 years in federal prison, no parole. Your co-defendants each receive 15 years. Additionally, the Serenity Ridge HOA is hereby dissolved by court order. Its assets will be liquidated to compensate all residents you extorted and to rebuild my home. Exactly as it was, wildflowers and vintage mailbox included. A gasp rippled through the gallery. Vance sobbed openly as marshals led him away. I addressed the stunned room. Let this be a lesson. No one is above the law. Not mob bosses. Not HOA tyrants. Abuse of power, no matter how small the kingdom, will be met with the full force of justice. Court adjourned. The gavel cracked like thunder. Epilogue. Havenwood rose from the ashes. More beautiful than before, wildflowers blooming defiantly, the brass mailbox gleaming proudly. The former Serenity Ridge residents, freed from Vance's regime, formed a voluntary neighborhood group focused on real community. And every time I light my fireplace, I remember, True justice isn't just about punishment. It's about reducing bullies to ashes and rebuilding something stronger. Pass the marshmallows. Asterisk moral. Asterisk absolute power corrupts absolutely, but true justice reduces tyrants to cinders. Never mistake quiet strength for weakness.